Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be bringing you an original tag I call Down the Rabbit Hole tag. That came up with this because I heard this term first used on Steve Donoghue's channel, and he referred to rabbit holes in the sense of when you become so fascinated by a certain subject that you feel the need to chase after it, kind of falling down a hole, searching out as much information on that particular subject as you can possibly find. Now, for this tag, it could be anything in terms of a rabbit hole that you found fascinating with perhaps current events. It could be historical. It could be literary. Perhaps it's an author that you're fascinated with. You want to learn more about the author, or you wanted to make sure you read all the works by that author, and you find yourself chasing after that, that need to complete the canon of an author or something. Whatever it happens to be is something I want you to share with on this particular tag. And for the theme, I decided to go with an Alice in Wonderland theme, with the rabbit that, chasing away, it just kind of popped in my head. I thought that would make an interesting theme for the tag. So the first prompt is going to be the Cheshire Cat. Tell us about previous rabbit holes that have since disappeared from your radar. I was thinking back to probably one of the first ones I can remember was my fascination with dinosaurs. I always loved everything about them. I remember getting so many books and reading about them and trying to memorize the names of them. I had my favorite dinosaurs, the T-Rex, of course. The Stegosaurus was probably my second favorite. And wanting to learn, what age in history they were from, and failing miserably at memorizing any kind of that information, but it didn't matter. I had my plastic dinosaurs. When that never completely died away. I still am fascinated by them, and even when the Field Museum first opened up the exhibit for Sue, I had to go see it, so I got my picture of Sue's skull there. There's a picture of me with Sue, and also I had to pick up a T-shirt and a hat. Yes, I've had this for decades now. But yeah, that's never completely gone away. I also was very interested in martial arts, still am to this day, and became interested in Bruce Lee particularly. I owned all the movies at one point. I have a poster that I still own downstairs. I had all sorts of memorabilia, which I sadly no longer have. I must have given it away at some point, I don't know. And the only thing I have now is something to look forward to, which is a new biography that just came out on him. So I'll be revisiting an old favorite rabbit hole. Another one that I really got caught up in is mountain climbing. All sorts of biographies on famous mountain climbers, famous expeditions. John Krakauer's K2 book, Expeditions to Everest. There was another book called Seven Summits, in which two mountain climbers reached the highest peak in all 7 continents. I just read so much on it. I had quite a pile of books that I ended up donating to the library after I was done with them, but I even at one point had a huge book on mountaineering, which was a detailed information on all the climbing techniques and the equipment used. It's not like I'm ever going to go mountain climbing, and I've never been mountain climbing, but for some reason I was extremely drawn to that. I would watch documentaries on TV, on Everest and stuff, and yeah, I just became so fascinated with that subject. Number 2, the White Rabbit. Tell us about the most recent rabbit hole you fell into. That would be Sherlock Holmes. When we started doing the read-along in September for Sherlock Holmes, I just found myself getting all caught up in the stories again. I had read them a long time ago, and my collection just sort of started growing. I have owned already the Sherlock Holmes Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition. I had at one time had this book, and I found it again. This is the original illustrated Sherlock Holmes that have the the Sidney Paget illustrations in. I came across a nonfiction book on Sherlock Holmes, which is all sorts of facts about the various actors who have played the role, photographs of the time period in which the stories possibly took place, just all sorts of paintings, and I saw some posters in here, appearances in the Strand magazine. So that was really interesting. And then I kind of expanded it a little bit further into further stories, so I found a whole bunch of short stories. This is a collection by Otto Penzler. And then this also has like 3 original stories in here. The Annotated Sherlock Holmes by Paul Gilbert. So yeah, kind of just getting really back into that. Of course, I already own also the Granada television production on DVD too. So yeah, my Sherlock Holmes collection's growing a bit. Number 3, Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Tell us about a time when, because of looking into one rabbit hole, you suddenly became aware of another rabbit hole of similar fascination. And this would be one that spawned off of the Sherlock Holmes rabbit hole. I found more books specifically on the Granada television production with Jeremy Brett. This is like behind the scenes of each individual episode. I found this one here as well, the television Sherlock Holmes, published in association with Granada Television. And spawning even further down the hole, I wanted to learn more about the actor who played the role, Jeremy Brett. So I came across this particular biography on him, Bending the Willow. I was able to get it as an ebook. I found this one online. This is the man who became Sherlock Holmes. I haven't read this one yet. I hear it's not quite as good as the other one. And then I went on Wikipedia and I wanted to see what else he had appeared in, because I only knew him from this, and there's quite a list. I found a whole bunch of stuff on YouTube. I started watching some things on YouTube, then I started purchasing some items. I found him in Macbeth. I was only able to get this as a VHS. He appeared in My Fair Lady, so I picked up a DVD of that. I haven't seen that in quite some time. Of course, when I watched it originally, I didn't know who he was, or, you know, he wasn't in Sherlock Holmes at the time. I also came across him in Three Musketeers. This was really, really good. And then also The Merchant of Venice with Laurence Olivier. And there he is as Bassanio. So yeah, that kind of spiraled off down another little pathway there. Move these guys out of the way. Number 4, The Red Queen. Tell us about a rabbit hole you lost your head over. That is easily, hands down, Titanic. Anything to do with the Titanic. Of course, when the movie came out, I was all over that. I have shirts. I have all sorts of books I've read about it. I just became absolutely fascinated with the story, with the story of the survivors, the whole thing about the ship and how it was built and the failings of the ship. And I just wanted to read more and more and more about it. And yeah, it's still to this day, I'm still very, very interested in it. At work, I see lots of books on our shelves that I haven't owned or haven't read that I want to at one point. But yeah, I completely lost my head over that one. Number 5, The Mad Hatter. Show us your mad bookish media collections inspired by your rabbit holes. Okay, so you've already seen the Sherlock Holmes aspect of it, so I'm going to show you some of the Titanic ones I have. I have to move over here a bit. Let's see. I think I'll start with the largest ones first. That would be the Titanic Triumph and Tragedy, 2nd edition. This is by John P. Eaton and Charles A. Haas. A lot of them have, you know, duplicate information, and sometimes you'll see some different, you know, photos and things here. Schematics of the ship, all sorts of things. They're just chock full of information. Then we have the Titanic disaster, as reported in the British National Press, April to July 1912 by Dave Bryceson. I can't pronounce that name. This one's kind of interesting because it has a lot of newspaper reproductions. And you'll see the photos from within and all black and white, of course. Yeah, that was a really, really interesting one as well. Then there's Titanic by Leo Marriott. And many of these I had bought back when I used to work at B. Dalton, so back in the mid to late 80s. This is the Titanic by Geoff Tabalis. This one's sort of kind of a collection type thing. The Titanic, the official story. And it's in a box, and it's got all sorts of memorabilia within. Let's see. Different, like, letters and things. Reprints. I think there's even transcripts from wireless telegraphs, and I think there's even a menu from the White Star, all sorts of stuff like that within it. I'm just going to balance this. Okay, Titanic, the Legacy of the World's Greatest Ocean Liner. This is put up by the Discovery Channel. The Titanic at 2 a.m. The final events surrounding the doomed liner. So this deals right up with the sinking. It shows even a reproduction slide, like water coming into the ship and everything. And this is, I think they reproduce this on like computer. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Some of these I haven't looked at in a while. The Discovery of the Titanic by Dr. Robert Ballard. This one's amazing too. There's big, huge fold-outs of the views of the ship underwater, of the wreckage. Stay. The Titanic, Destination and Disaster, The Legends and the Reality by John P. Eden and Charles A. Haas. And we have the Sinking of the Titanic. This is a little one by, abridged and edited by Bruce Kaplan. I have Titanic, A Survivor Story. This is two survivors. This also includes a short little story of the sinking of the SS Titanic. The first one's by Colonel Archibald Gracie, and then the second one's by John P. Thayer. And then I have probably the one most well known is A Night to Remember by Walter Lord. Small little mass market paperback. Another one which I found absolutely fascinating. This is The Titanic Disaster Hearings, the official transcripts of the 1912 Senate investigations by Tom Kuntz. You think that would be boring, but it is absolutely riveting. I even have a White Star Line bookmark. Forgotten about that. And then I picked this one up. This is The Titanic, the Definitive Documentary Collection. It was just a DVD that I came across. I bought this. I still have the receipt. 2012. Wow. Okay. So yeah, this is my Titanic collection. Also in a little weird twist of Titanic of books and things, I came across two fictional books. This one is by David Kowalski called The Company of the Dead. It's an alternative history where the Titanic doesn't sink. And also delves into, there was the Kennedy assassination in here. There's all sorts of weird things happening in this book. I didn't finish it though, and it's been so long since I started it that I'll probably have to restart it someday. But I got into a big reading funk when I got laid off work, so I kind of just stopped reading, and I haven't picked it up since. And the other one, which I really did enjoy in a weird, twisted sort of way, is Deck Z, The Titanic, Unsinkable and Undead. This is by Chris Pauls and Matt Solomon. And yes, there are zombies on the Titanic. I know, weird. But it was interesting. They did a really good job with that one. And finally, number 6, host a tea party. Invite some of your friends. So invite them to do the tag. I've got several of them listed here that I'm going to go ahead and invite. First one I'm going to tag is Graham Silers Reads Books, because he's a huge fan of this book and I want to see what he comes up with on the tag. I'd like to see both of the guys at Strip Cover Lit do this. Of course going to tag Steve Donoghue, because you can't do a tag and not tag Steve Donoghue. I'm going to tag Graham Quigley, Britta Bowler, a new booktuber called Alan Morton. Please go ahead and check out his channel. CR Flames Fan, Dubé Day Devours, One Book, One Review, The Dyslexic Reader, Retired Book Nerd, Bookie Laura, Always Doing, A Hungry Bookworm, Elena Macradina, and Carolyn's Reading Ramblings. So that is the Down the Rabbit Hole tag. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm late for an important date. I gotta go. Thanks for watching. Bye!